Oh, you're not ready to hear this. You're not ready to lean into an uncomfortable conversation.
Yo, que we are back. Uncomfortable Conversations, ladies and gentlemen, presented by Empire State of Baseball, boys and girls, children of all ages. ESB proudly presents to you the funnest hour you're about to have the whole day with me, your host, Kicking It with Keef. Met fans, how's it feel? It's funny how all it takes is 1 week for the vibes to change, right? But we're going to get into that. Hope everyone's having a good time. Guys, I see 76 people watching this video. Let's get that number up past. We want to hit the 300 mark tonight. We hit it last week. We want to do it. We want to be consistent. So, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, to help the video out, help the live stream out, we want to hit that like button. If you on X or Twitter, you want to call it, retweet the video if you can. Shoot these numbers up. We want ESB to grow and to do the damn thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here, okay? Your boy, Kicking It with Keef, is here, okay? But Mr. Gorilla, I don't know. Mr. Gorilla I don't think he's showing up for work today. If you were here for episode 1, you'll know Mr. Gorilla. You were all introduced to him. Mr. Gorilla, I'm not sure Mr. Gorilla's coming to work today. So it might be me flying solo. So you got to bear with me because Mr. Gorilla is an award-winning producer. So I'm producing the show today, Dolo, ladies and gentlemen, while I watch the game. And today, we're going to go over some topics that I thought would be uncomfortable. But I think today is more of a not uncomfortable, but comfortable conversation. I don't really know how far we're going to get with that. We may just do some live in-game tweeting or in-game like analysis of the game, not tweeting, excuse me. But definitely if you're in the comments section, this is the week to come into the kitchen. If you want to challenge me on any thoughts while we all watch the game. Right now, the Mets are up 3-0. And we could get this ball rolling. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, we have to pay the bills. Check us out at the ESB Network Mondays, 1 p.m., if you're a Yankee fan, check us out. The Bronx Take on X. That's a Twitter space where you guys get to talk about firing Aaron Boone. Woo, fun. And then at 8 o'clock, the boys, the CEOs are back for their regularly scheduled program at 8 p.m. All the hosts at ESB will be there. We head over to Tuesday where you get to yell about Aaron Boone once again at 1 p.m. And then at 8 p.m., you get to join the awesome, amazing Sierra at the Clubhouse. If you want to just, get a nice new different feel for yelling at Aaron Boone and saying how Giancarlo Stanton is amazing, tap in 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, you got a Bronx Take again. So you get 3 days straight of telling everybody how much Aaron Boone sucks. And then you get to join me, a little bit of a Mets flavor at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. Thursday, you get to tell everybody again for the 4th straight time how much you hate Aaron Boone at 1 p.m. Again on X, and also on X at 5 p.m. You got me. We got to talk about the Mets and how we're mad one day and then we're happy one day. Like we're the most bipolar fan base that there possibly ever been. You know what I'm saying? Fridays, you got extra innings where both fan bases join together at 2 p.m. on X, and on the weekends, you should be spending quality time with the family. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Empire State of Baseball. Let me get to the chat. Let's see who's showing some love. Shout out to Jacob Petruzzi in the building. Like and smack that sub on for my brother Keith and the rest of the ESB crew. Yes, sir. We got Mr. Joe Polisi in the building, shouting us out. What's going on? Got Rich Rivera. Yo. What's going on, Papa? Edge in the building. What's up, Papa? Mez in the building, showing love. What's going on? Mez says, you watching this McLean dude? He's pretty good. He certainly is. I think Philadelphia would agree with that. Stan from Westport, my buddy, my guy. Sierra's really great. I don't agree with some of her takes, but she knows her shit. She runs her shows are really good as an MC. Okay. All right. Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. She definitely doesn't know ball, though, unfortunately, but we'll talk about that when we see her for extra innings this Friday, live on the Twitter space. So, with that being said, I'm already in the kitchen. Okay. All right. We got the whole setup. I'm not going to be doing the back and forth because my producer didn't show up. I'm calling you out, brother. All right. Mr. Gorilla, you're not here. You're not here. And my skills are not up to date. I'm very rusty. I'm like on a I've been on like a 6-month sabbatical off this. So I'm calling you out. This is the most uncomfortable conversation we're having right now. Mr. Gorilla, he's not here for work, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, I am here for work. So I'm here to piss people off, but right now the Mets are doing amazing things. There's nothing to be mad about. What is there to be mad about in Metland? Truthfully, honestly, really, we can't be mad at nothing right now. We look like we're about to win the division. Holy shnikey balls. We are back. The Mets are back. That is a comfortable conversation. We don't really have anything to complain about. We're just laughing at the Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies came to Citi Field and they got bamboozled out of New York for the division. I believe if we win today, we're 4 games back. Somebody in the chat correct me. Which is incredible because for about a 2-month span, the Mets played the worst baseball I think I've seen in about 2 years. That's insanity. And now they're doing the Linsanity thing. The Linsanity thing, which is awesome. Right now, Nolan McLean, through 4 innings, has given up 1 hit. He's ready. He's more than ready. He is certified. He's here. All right. You want to have a comfortable conversation? I'll tell y'all right now. Nolan McLean's my game 2 starter in the playoffs. All for it. Game 2 starter. I've seen it. Enough. Decision's been made. In the chat or anybody want to challenge me, I'm going to put the link. Where's the link? Let's get some people to join. I'm going to put it here in the chat section. If you disagree with that take, that's not even a part of the regularly scheduled programming I have for you. But if you disagree with that take, let me know. Because honestly, Nolan McLean is my game 2 starter. And if I'm feeling real froggy, he's my game 1 starter. But that's a little too much. But I've been thinking about this of late. Game 1, if you're going to go Peterson, which probably is the move, would you piggyback Peterson with a Manaea? Just a thought. Game 2, McLean, piggyback him with shall I say, Kodai Senga, who we'll get to in a little bit. Just saying, think about it. Why not? In the wild card round, why not? In a way, you're actually preserving them if you do advance, and you're also kind of like giving the other team fits with all these different approaches you got. It's a cool conversation to have. It's not uncomfortable, it's comfortable. Just saying. We have comfortable conversations here. Just saying. Game 3, maybe Baby Lincecum. By the way, Baby Lincecum will be here Friday. If you don't know who Baby Lincecum is, trust me, you will. But I will be in the building, Citi Field, Friday night for Baby Lincecum's first game in the majors. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Nolan McLean. This is incredible. Honestly, he reminds me in terms of like bravado, reminds me a lot of Matt Harvey in a way. He doesn't look fazed by anything. The way he pitches, though, is totally different. He has his own style. He's nothing like a Harvey in that regard. It's just the swagger about him. Very Matt Harvey-ish swagger. You know what I'm saying? There was a few names thrown out there that, he resembles and whatnot. But, I'm going to give him a few more starts before I start doing the comparison stuff. But I do like the swagger. He's looking down hitters. He's not even blinking. I love it. I don't know. Guys are not adjusting. I love it. Nolan McLean today. Baby Lincecum Friday. Maybe we get Sprout down your throat at some point in time, in September. And here we go. Maybe we get the super little Jet Williams that could. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing to complain about. So then, I spoke to Mr. Gorilla and I was like, Mr. Gorilla, I know you're not going to show up for work today. I have no idea. Like, oh, wow, look at this. You want to talk about guys who are at sync all the time. You can't I haven't talked to this gentleman in a few hours, and look at this. I'm not even going to call him out. This is called greatness. This is like what Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez having the booth right here, right here, right here. It's crazy how that works, right? I'm not even gonna say the man's name. I'm not even gonna say what he's saying here. You can read it. If you're watching, 170 people here, read this. I literally just said it. Incredible how that works. Anyways, what the hell was I was trying to say? Anyways, so right now, things are awesome. I really can't complain. And I was telling that to Mr. Gorilla. And Mr. Gorilla's not here. Mr. Gorilla's not here. I'm flying solo. Okay. I'm rusty in the StreamYard world. You know, yes, I know what I'm doing, but not very well. It's been a while. So we're gonna try our best to try and flip the script and the narrative of a few conversations that I had planned, because I was really gonna push the needle here, you know. And guys, don't forget the link is in the chat if you want to come into the kitchen. But we were gonna start. I don't want to really be negative because the game is going on. The Mets are up 3-0. They're about to sweep the Phillies. They're about to get on a crazy run to go win the division, which I predicted, by the way. Even though I hated this team for most of the year, still do in a weird way. You know, we could get into these topics, but I don't want to fuck up the vibes because I'm gonna blame me. Hell, I'm even worried about going to Citi Field Friday. I think I'm gonna ruin the vibes. I think I'm the bad apple, guys. I think I'm the bad apple. I think I'm like, you know, the soft spot in the guacamole, or in the fruits, you know, the bruises and the bananas, and you know, just I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. So I hope I go to Citi Field. It's like you go to confessionals and you don't burn. You know, Lord may be with me on Friday. Good Jesus. But anyways, shout out to the chat. I got Stan in here, Jacob, Mikey from PR in here. Will also be there for the Star Can't Miss. Absolutely. While we watch the Mets demolish the Phillies, I think that's 5 Ks now for Nolan McLean. They got the K marker going up with the fans. 1 hit through 5. I wanted to talk about a few topics, this being one of them. Mr. Gorilla normally will let you guys know that this individual is wanted right now. Kodai Senga, last seen in the 3rd inning. Lord help him if he can get into the 4th. We got a Kodai Senga issue lately, and I'm a little torn. I feel a little fucked up. I feel a little fucked up talking about Kodai because I like Kodai. I think Kodai is a good Met. I think Kodai loves being a Met, and I love that about Kodai. I have said, you know, on my prior platform that the fact that Kodai loves being a Met, you know, does a lot for me as a fan. I kind of am a little bit biased to him in some regards. I can't lie to you guys. So with that being said, you know, we're in year 3. You know, he's had an injury year. He's had a great year. This year's been a little bit of a mixed bag. You know, there's been good moments. There's been bad moments. And you sit there and you figure out to yourself, like, man, I think we're going to have to be a little bit more honest about Kodai Senga. And what I mean about being honest is I don't know if Kodai, generally speaking, is what I thought Kodai would be. You know, I think Kodai is kind of more of a name right now in Metland, but I don't think the league fears him because I think the league understands how to get Kodai out of the game. You know, you kind of work up the pitch count. You want Kodai to feel stress early in games. You want Kodai to kind of overwork himself. And that, how you doing, Hector? Wheels up. And that honestly is kind of not a good recipe for the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a quick break in the show. I apologize. Give us 1 moment. We'll be right back. All right, my bad, guys. My bad. This is a live show, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, did Soto just hit a home run? Oh no, that was Lindor off the wall, and he got out a second. I was just saying goodbye to the missus. Anyways, back to Kodai. Let's bring this back up. Right now, it is 1 out, bottom of the fifth. Mets up 3-0. Soto's up. Kodai Senga, last seen in the third inning. Like I was saying, Kodai Senga is one of my it's like a fan favorite. You kind of don't really speak ill on Kodai. You kind of wish well on Kodai. You kind of don't want to say negative things about Kodai because I think most of us we like Kodai no matter what. But I don't know if Kodai you could trust him. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not saying just because I don't trust him, you can't use him. Of course, you got to use him. Now, he's there. But I think you're going to have to use Kodai in a very analytical way, and I think nobody wants to hear that. I don't think Kodai can be used as a traditional starter. I think Kodai has to be used with a lot of eyes on him. The second he's overworking early on, you should have somebody up. Shout out to Josh. Always says that. The second Kodai Senga looks like he's grooving, let him go. You got to give him some run support. Kodai Senga's first inning issues are also a thing. Shout out to the 214 in the building. If you want to get into the kitchen, let me know. I'll put the link in the chat. But Kodai Senga's been a little bit of a worrisome pitcher. And with that being said, Kodai Senga isn't the guy that is meant to be like the ace. At times, he looks like an ace. I just think in the perfect world, he's a serviceable pitcher, could get the job done if everything's working right for him. You know, and I feel like we kind of make a lot of excuses sometimes for him. And I think the jury's out. Kodai Senga, if he's going well, it's going well. If it's going bad, you'll know really quick. I've seen him pitched through trouble, but now that we're getting late in the year, I feel like it's been a little bit more harder for him. You know what I'm saying? I think he still has quality stuff. I don't think he's a bad pitcher by any means. I just think that we're going to have to really start, tightening the leash, for lack of a better term. And I think with Kodai, the uncomfortable conversation with Kodai Senga is, do we limit him to 4 innings? Do we even let it get that far at some point? Like, it's crazy because he's a starter, right? I mean, but he's getting to his pitch count is usually like near the 80s or the 70s in the 4th inning. You know what I'm saying? Keith Alvarez got drilled in the hand in the rehab game, left immediately. Great. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. I got Hector telling me that he feels he's better off in the bullpen. That's not a bad take, Hector, because in a way, I agree with you, Hector. I'm wondering if we were to start McLean in the playoffs and McLean gives you 4 or 5 innings, do you give Kodai 2? Do you give Kodai 3 if, McLean could go through the 4th inning? You want to preserve him. You don't want Kodai to go through the order multiple times, so maybe you do something like that. I know people don't like to hear the analytical stuff, but it might be the way. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Kulo. I love this Marcus Stroman situation. Met fans don't want to hear it. Met fans don't like to hear the name, but maybe, maybe. But that's my Kodai Senga take. I mean, we're going to see him, I think, Sunday. And I think this past start, he was on regular rest. So I think this next start, he gets the extra day of rest. I could be wrong on that, chat. Let me know. And that's also another thing with the playoffs. You got to kind of pay attention to, his workload. I'm be honest with you guys. That's not really ideal for a game 2, 3 starter. It's like something you worry about with a guy at the back end of your rotation. But the rotation shrinks in the playoffs. So I'm thinking more down the lines when we're already in the playoffs, which I believe we're going to be in the playoffs. I don't think we're going to miss the playoffs. I just think we're going to, if we win the division, great. That, to me, that was my goal. That I had that minimum goal. Cool. We get in as a wild card, whatever. It is what it is. We're in. But, I'm already focusing on the rotation for the playoffs. I like in my mind's already there. We're in the playoffs. This team could play like shit, and I just think they're going to make the playoffs. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't think the panic button needs to be pressed, but the team could do what it's doing now and look like the best team in the National League. And then, Nemo hits one in the gap, and that falls down. Yo, they're terrorizing Bader today. Pete gets to third base. It looks like a double. Am I wrong? Yeah, double. Oh, no, a single. Okay. Thought he could have got there. 2 outs, man, on the corners. Bottom of the fifth for the Mets, looking to tack on to their 3-run lead. So, yeah, I think the Mets are going to get to the playoffs regardless of what happens. And I think having a rotation where Kodai Senga is in it, you have to monitor the rotation more than you would with a normal set of guys. So I think that's why these kids are here. A lot of it has to do with Senga. A lot of it has to deal with the fact that this rotation isn't fully like in the groove of things. We're getting these kids up. These veterans are still trying to get through some of their own issues, just like Jean Manaea is dealing with, and so on and so forth. Mark Vientos is up with men on the corners, 2 outs. And speaking of Mark Vientos, maybe this is an uncomfortable conversation, but let's do it. Why not? Wanted, Mark Vientos, last seen near Petty Street and I'm Back Boulevard. What does that mean? What does that mean? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you what that means. For about 3 months, Mark Vientos wasn't really doing the Mark Vientos thing. We had high hopes for him, right? He struggled. It's not his first rodeo here, but he went through some struggles. And in a year where we thought maybe the struggles wouldn't be that bad and his job wouldn't be taken from him, it happened. I think Mark Vientos, in a way, has some likable features and some dislikable features for so many people. I think he divides the fan base in many ways, and I also think he brings the fan base together in many ways. The way he carries himself is a little bit different than other Mets. He is his own kind of guy. He walks in his own path, which is why a lot of people are very much, in love with the guy. They love how he carries himself. They love how, they're supportive of him. They love that, he has gone through his struggles. There's a little bit of a sensitivity factor when it comes to speaking about Mark Vientos while dealing with his struggles here in New York. And I totally understand that, because there's a lot of players that kind of get run out of town because the fans are just fed up with them and they don't really truly give him a chance, as Mark Vientos just gets an RBI. And whether he rubs you the wrong way or whether he may or may not be a part of the clique or the cool topic, if he's playing good baseball, you take it at the end of the day. Mark Vientos isn't going anywhere. They didn't trade him. People wanted him. The Mets decided to keep him. And you know what? Kudos to him, because he's proving the Mets right. The worst thing that could have happened to Mark Vientos is that post-trade deadline, he doesn't perform, and then he makes the Mets look like fools. The best thing Mark Vientos has done since the trade deadline is tell the Mets, listen, I had a shitty first half, which happens to mad people, okay? Mad people. He is not by any means the perfect player. He has flaws. But the best thing that Mark Vientos has done, the very best thing, is post-trade deadline, he has taken the opportunities and ran with them. And that, as a Met fan, is all we need. We don't work in the front office. I don't work for the Daily News. I don't work for SNY. I sure as hell don't work for the Mets. So you know what? Whatever Mark Vientos gives me, shut up and dribble. And I think that should be across the board. If you're a Vientos stan, it's a parade. You're having a great time. You know what I'm saying? If you're, more about the team and it's more of a I just want the team to good or whatever, even better, because he is performing. That is the goal of having a player struggle and overcome the struggles. So right now, the high that Mark Vientos is on, I'm right there with him. Attaboy, kid. Now, he dips into another slump. You know what I'm saying? And God forbid it happens. Oh, did McNeil just hit a home run? Oh no, fly ball. All right, so we got an extra run. So the Mets are up 4-0, looking for the sweep. Mark Vientos, if he goes into another slump, we have Beatty. You know what I'm saying? We got Mauricio, who hasn't really done much lately, but it is what it is. We have pieces in place. We have, Marte at the DH. This team, which is why we're so frustrated with it, has answers for a lot of its own problems, but they have to answer them. They can't just be there. Your solution has to solution itself. That sounds bad. No. Your solutions have to be solutions, right? They can't just be a solution and not fix anything. They have to be solutions. I'm just making shit up as I go, clearly. But, I trust if Mark Vientos was to go into a little bit of rut, I trust Starling Marte. If Starling Marte goes into a rut, Mark Vientos. Right now, Vientos and Marte are kind of cooking together, which is really good. They're kind of fighting. They're kind of fighting for that DH spot. I mean, look, Vientos has the opportunity to play third base. If he keeps playing his defense the way he's supposed to be playing it, he shouldn't be benched. Beatty's got to step up to the plate. Now, listen, light the fire in Beatty. As much as I like, Brett Beatty, I prefer him as a player. If Vientos is outplaying him, Vientos has to play. Because right now, I want to win the division. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, if you love this team, you love it. If you love 70% of the team, cool. If you love like 10% of the team but still root for them, okay. I mean, whatever you want to pick, that's fine. That's your lane. All right, whatever. I'm not judging, but you do what you got to do. For me, and I've been on record, this team goes as far as its pitching staff. It's awesome that they're hitting. It really is. To me, that's like the cherry on top. It's the pitching. I've seen this team hit, and I've seen this team lose while hitting. It is the pitching. They can't hit Nolan McLean. Nolan McLean got one hit through 6 innings. Just saying. Shout out Cowboy Ohtani. So as far as the Mark Vientos thing, truthfully, we could put it to bed. I think this team is going to be reliant on Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso, et cetera, et cetera. If Vientos goes into a rut, really, we're going to look at him as the failure of the year? No. It'll be low-hanging fruit. We got to look at the first baseman, got to look at the shortstop, and the right fielder and the left fielder. Honestly, those are the Fab Four is when, if you want to blame anything in the offense, it really comes down to them. Honestly. I know it's cherry picking, but it's just what it is. We were in New York. It is. I, as a fan, can't sit with myself and be like, oh, Cedric Mullins is the reason we lost, or Tyrone Taylor. Those pieces are just pieces. It is going to play a part. You also need others to step up, but we need our stars to be stars. Hence the Grand Slam last year. That Grand Slam last year is still doing damage to this team. You know what I'm saying? Holy shit. Jeff Hardy's back. Here we go. How do I... Jeff, you got to hold on 1 second, Jeff. I don't even know what I'm doing here. See, Mr. Gorilla would be here, Jeff, but I don't know. I'm telling people to come to the kitchen, and I don't know how to add them. Lord. Nope. Not it. Add to stage. Jeff Hardy is in the building. He has taken the opportunity to join. Oh, here we go. Hey, I figured it out. Oh, you're muted, Jeff.
Yep. What's up, Keith? How you doing?
So, what is this? Every week you go like Metallica style. What is this? You gotta put me on. Explain this to me.
Yep. It's pretty much I've really not have stood out that much as a character really around the scene at that much. So this is pretty much me establishing my gimmick and character, essentially.
You know what? Knock yourself out. This is a free country, sir. If you're happy, we're all happy. What do you want to talk about, sir? Welcome to the kitchen again.
Thank you very much, Keith, for having me a second time. And yeah, the Kodai Senga conversation has been an uncomfortable one, to say the least, especially despite the 13-3 win. I was in attendance for that. It wasn't the best outing for him throughout that day, and with his next start being on the 31st. But I feel like I've got my brain spinning a little bit. I got a plan in motion potentially for Senga.
I'm listening.
The moment that September hits, now, even though this man did not have the best time out of the bullpen in AAA, but I feel like there's a process and plan. I'd say Senga for the first 3, and then Brendan Sproat coming out potentially for the next 3. And it seems to me that sounds like a plan that we can get in motion if Senga's workload is the issue, which it has been throughout these last couple of starts that he's had. He's got one more start potentially on the workload that he has this upcoming Sunday on the 31st. And if it doesn't go to plan, I feel like that could be the perfect strategy for Senga moving forward.
I like it. I think they should do it. I'm with you. I agree.
Yes.
My only question is, in the event you're in the wild card round, one of those kids is going to be either relegated to reliever or starter, right?
Yeah.
He may not make the team if he's called up September 1st. He's not on the playoff roster. So now you're talking about Jonah Tong or Nolan McLean falling into those roles, the role you said.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I'm with you. I get it. You might see it in the regular season in September, but then it doesn't make sense to see it in September if we can't take it with us to the wild card round. You feel me?
I feel you on that strategy, but like I feel like it's about the potentially of those other 2, McLean and Tong, if they're on the playoff roster, essentially trying to adapt into that role that Sproat has, because it's not going to be every day where Tong is going to start, even though I love it they started on Friday, and I'm probably going to be there to see it when it goes down on Friday. And so it's a strategy that's not foolproof for the postseason, but I feel like it could be an optimal move if Senga's workload continues to be the issue moving forward.
All right. Well, I agree. I think they're going to monitor Senga. I think Senga's the biggest issue in the rotation, and I say that because he needs more days of rest. I think he has the worst first inning out of any of the pitchers in the rotation. You have to be very delicate with him. So definitely one of these prospects is going to have to piggyback him, or he piggybacks them, whatever the case may be. I want to hear your thoughts on my take on Mark Vientos. I see like Mark Vientos is a bit of a discussion in many lights, positive, negative. His season has been, I'd say, more like 60-40 bad versus good, because right now he's doing a great job. By the way, Jeff McNeil made an incredible catch in center field. If anybody was just saying, an incredible catch.
Chef's
shout out
kiss.
to Jeff.
It was beautiful.
Chef's kiss. The Vientos thing. I'm not gonna put you totally on the spot because I think that's unfair, but I am gonna make it a little uncomfortable. What is your general take on how some fans are for the Vientos thing or for the overall picture? Some fans like Beatty, some fans like Mauricio, some fans are like, it doesn't matter, play the hot hand. I don't know. To me, I kind of listen, whatever I get, I'm going to take it. What is your stance on that?
My stance on it, Marky Vientos, he's been one of the main at the early bits of the season. He was a head case for most fans, and many people wanted Beatty over him. And to me, it's more just about the form of the players and how they're performing throughout the times.
Soccer term, love that.
As Mark Vientos continues to perform, he's going to get more of the work than Beatty and in later times. And I like Beatty at second base where he is now. He successfully adapted well into that position, and it could truly be the game changer of just having Vientos around more oftenly. Now, people wanted him axed from this team before the trade deadline. And now, like you said earlier, he's earned his dues. He's told the Mets, hey, I had a shitty first half, and I'm going to improve throughout the second half. And he's been doing that so far. And, it's a matter of adaptability and form moving forward. And I think that Mark Vientos is currently suited within this role at the moment compared to what Ronnie Mauricio was like prior to the second half starting.
There is something to be said about how Vientos has answered the trade talks and all the hoopla with going to the media and doing his thing. You could look at it as a positive thing. Maybe it seems like to me, if I had to be honest and take the good and the bad, throw it over there. If I had to look at it from a fair point of view, Mark Vientos performs the best when his back is against the wall. If everything's going fine, I think Mark Vientos sucks. But when that happens, and he does suck, Mark Vientos turns into the little mini A-Rod. He turns into a little bit version of Alex Rodriguez, and it's like, holy shit. So I hate to say this, but bullying sometimes works.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he answers the call very well. Now, last but not least, I have said this many times. If you see this comment right here, if you have 3 third basemen, you have none. I still stand by that. The reason why I stand by that is because you got to at least figure out some sort of rotation. In the event Mark Vientos continues this insanity, which is great, should he be the everyday third baseman that we assumed him to be at the beginning of the year, even if Brett Baty's glove is better? Because in my opinion, if he can hit at this rate into October, whether you or the next person likes him or not, you can't bench the bat. So what do you think on that opinion?
As the everyday third baseman, it's always been an up and down role with him defensively. And I feel like if he continues going sicko mode with the hitting, it could just be a main possibility for him to be the everyday first baseman and have if he stays throughout, Ronnie Moe and Starlin Marte like routing between the DH every now and then. Not at Marte would get more of the DH games, but Ronnie Moe would probably get some DH games in there as well. And I feel like I said before, Baty has adapted well to that second base role. And I feel like he is more preferred at a third base role with the glove that he has. And it's truly just a pure case of a day where Vientos' glove is on or off. And the second case for Brett Baty, if his glove is on or off as well.
Fair point. We have this one question. I believe it's from Sierra. I'm assuming. We get no research, genuine question. How's Vientos' offensive numbers when he's playing a position versus DHing? Off the top of my head, I'm going to tell you right now, they're probably very similar. I think he wants to play the field. So his probably, you might see, the problem is there's a large sample size of the first half where he was bad that can play into those numbers looking bad. But if I had to kind of generalize it from the trade deadline to now, he's been good as a DH and he's been good as a third baseman. He hasn't made an error in a while, so he hasn't really made a bad play at third base. That's how I'm taking it. If I can get average play at third base and the bat stays hot, he has to stay in the team. Brett Baty has been just like fine. I can't really say many negative things about Baty. Baty's been fine. Baty's been pretty good, and this is a good problem to have. So whoever you like, you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. In my opinion, if Vientos hits a wall, Baty's going to step up. If Baty goes into a rut, Vientos is on a heater. No one loses, really. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Jordan, thank you for joining the kitchen. I appreciate you, Papa.
Thank you very much.
2 weeks in a row. Thank you for not being a punk. Everybody else in the comment section, they're punks. They don't want to hang with Jeff Hardy. So listen, my brother, you continue being you. Don't let nobody stop you. All right.
Thank you very much, Keith. And
yes, sir.
One more thing before I go, it's we go up against the Marlins this next series, and with the fish being in the pond, the little fishes in Grimsby beat up a big Red Devils in Manchester earlier today. So you never know what that could go to, but we'll get the series on. Let's go Mets, baby.
You know, Jordan, I got to say this about you.
Yeah.
You're a different cat. You're a different cat. I honestly, that's the best way I can describe you. But you don't know how funny you are sometimes. You genuinely are a funny fuck. I have to give you credit. You're a funny fucker.
I tend to get Johnny Depp comparisons at times with the hair, so.
Let's calm down. Let's calm it down. Go jump in a mosh pit and enjoy your evening, all right?
Exactly. Let's go Mets.
All right. This is what happens when you join the kitchen. Shit like that. Lord. Okay, last topic. The Mets are up 4-0, top of the 7th. Nolan McLean still pitching. Awesome, right? Funny how that works. The Phillies looks like we're playing. Honestly, it looks like we're playing some team that Syracuse plays. The Mets look great right now. There's nothing to complain about. The Mets look awesome right now. The wild card. Now, this was going to be a topic last week before all the winning came out, right? And I was going to say, I was planning on making some bullshit case how, if we won't win the division, what's wrong with the 6th wild card? Because the reason why the 6th wild card isn't that bad is because you play the Phillies. And all Met fans want to play the Phillies. It's funny how last week, before any of this happened, I was going to say, you know what? That 6th wild card or that 6th final spot, whatever you want to call it, and shout out to the 271 in here, it ain't the worst thing in the world. Yeah, we go on the road. We're not a good road team. All right, cool, whatever. But if we get through that first round, we play Phillies. We get through that first, layer, we end up playing the Phillies. We hit a little bit of, devil magic like we did against Milwaukee last year. Well, I don't want to play this year, by the way. I think they're better. I don't want none of that smoke. I'll be honest with y'all. I don't mind playing the Phillies even if we're on the road. There's nothing about the Phillies that scare me. Nothing. Except the people. Some ugly people from that town. I don't really worry about where we're at now. I am at the stage, and somebody can challenge me. I want to start hanging new banners. Yes, I want to hang a World Series banner. But, listen, if I could get it, sure. But if we fall short, I want to be able to say we did something. Kind of tired of winning the wild card. Even though the wild card isn't bad, gets you into the dance, I kind of want to say we run the division. Don't you, as a Met fan, next year want to be like, this is my division, not yours, to the Brave fans, to the Philly fans, if we don't win? I'm just saying. What's that Denzel meme? I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. Just saying. That's that 6th spot to get in isn't the worst thing in the world. The Reds are not catching the Mets. Ladies and gentlemen, the Reds are not catching the Mets. The Reds are not catching the Mets. The Mets are making the playoffs. You could clip this. The Mets are not missing the playoffs. No team should scare any team. True, but I'm scared of the Brewers because I ain't messing with that. I don't want none of that. I'm scared. Yes, I ain't shit. Remember, uncomfortable conversations. I'm very comfortable saying that. I'm terrified of the Brewers. I want no smoke with the Brewers. I want the Brewers eliminated. I'd rather play the Dodgers. Honestly, I'd rather play the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to see brand new pitching that we didn't have last year. Let it ride. The Brewers, they annoy me. They annoy the shit out of me. I don't want the Padres suck. Hector, the Padres stink. Don't believe the Padres. The Padres, all that hoopla, the Padres suck, Hector. Oh, here we go. Somebody else is in the kitchen. Finally, 2 members in one show. My guy, Corey Favs.
Unbelievable, man. How's it going?
I don't know. I feel like I'm about to win a division. I don't know. What about you, brother?
Hold on, give me 1 second. I think my headset. Hold on, I'm trying to get my mic. I know. Oh, there we go. Now? There we go. Now we're good. Okay. My AirPods disconnected.
No, I was saying I feel like we're about to win a National League East. I don't know. What about you?
Listen, I was just about to say, because we're talking about wild card and trying to run the division next year. I might have to just make the challenge now that we're going to win the division this year.
Yeah,
the vibes
I think
right
so
now.
Too. I think so too.
Talk about a 180, man. And go back this time 2 weeks ago, completely different conversation. We're all hitting the trauma of years past, falling apart.
Absolutely.
But all of a sudden now, and tonight is a prime example, we're going back to the basics. Pitching wins ball games. And the offense is starting to click. The offense is starting to look like the offense we thought they should have been all year.
Absolutely.
The pitching is back. We're in every game now, it feels like. And I'll tell you what, you win. No, again, we got to get through 7 more outs. Let's get 7 more outs tonight. But for the purpose of the conversation, let's say we win this game, knock on wood. We got the tiebreaker. So we still have a 4-game set with the Phillies later this year.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to go, let's say 3-1 in that set, which is very doable. and we push. Both teams push the rest of the way. We win the NL East, baby, and we play the Phillies in the first round. But we're the home team, and we go to the House of Horrors once again.
I'm so with. That's where I'm at, Corey.
Yeah.
I'm so with it. In the event we don't win the division, all we got to do is get through that first little bump in the road, and then we play the Phillies anyway.
Exactly.
So right now, I'm sitting and relaxed. I'm actually not worried. The difference about this year, and I already know where I'm going with this. You're gonna love this. Last year, I can ask 10 different Met fans what was the turning point. You'll get Grimace, you'll get Haktua, you'll get the Subway Series where we scored like 47 runs on a terrible team in the Bronx. You know all these different points. In my opinion, when the dust settles here, the turning point is when Nolan McLean got the call up and started that first game, and we all sat there, and as Met fans, we told the baseball world, I told you so.
Exactly. I completely agree. And that's part of what was so frustrating. It's like, I get the organizational mindset. You try to wait as long as you can, get that extra year. But the biggest problem, they had a few problems, but the biggest one going late July, first half of August, was the starting pitching was falling apart. We were getting 4 innings. Everyone couldn't make it through the 4th inning. We had Montes being terrible, bullpen game. It just a complete mess. Well, you had all these young kids killing it. McLean's come up, and he's completely stabilized it right now. Let's see, 3-2 pitch, and he induces a pop-up through 7 innings.
He did this is the second time he's done this.
Yep, unbelievable.
Second time he's done this. 2 hits.
Yep, absolute stud. But I agree with you. It's you finally addressed your biggest weakness with the lightning in the bottle moves of bringing up the kids, try to spark some energy. And thankfully, so far, it's worked. Now you're going to do it again. You're doubling down, bringing up Jonah Tong on Friday. And again, this is great. I think the one other thing they have to consider, I know the whole Brandon Sproat, we always thought he would probably be the first one if you go back a couple of months ago. But McLean just stayed red hot, and Tong was on another planet. So Sproat could still be that September call-up. And I almost wonder, you look at Sean Manaea, it seems like with him now, his last few starts, the first 4 innings, maybe 5. Yesterday he got through 5, almost 5. First 4 innings, dominant. And he's racking up 1 million Ks. But I think part of the problem is he's racking up so many Ks, that's probably wearing him down a little later. I almost wonder if you want to do some sort of instance where you piggyback him and Sproat, try to get Sproat 2-3 innings, Manaea, get him his 4-5 innings, and then hopefully that's a bridge to Diaz by itself. The one piece, and you mentioned it before a little earlier, the one guy's got to wake up is Senga, man, because that was supposed to be the ace. And it's like the tale of 2 seasons. Ever since Alonso threw that high lofting throw to him, it's been the tale of 2 seasons. Because in the first half, he was giving up 1 run or shutouts every night. And now all of a sudden, he just looks like a completely different pitcher. So if they get him going or they decide to do some sort of back-to-back with him too, I don't know. The pitching finally looks like it'll be stabilized. So fingers crossed.
It definitely feels like we can. The problem that I had with this team is for a while, I couldn't feel connected to what was happening. I think now we're starting to feel the connection. We're starting to see.
Correct.
We got to plan a little bit. We can see where this team is, their strengths are, where their weaknesses are. We can roll from that standpoint. Even from there, we can sit there and tell each other, all right, if this doesn't work, we have this. So I'm very, very happy with that. I felt like we had that for a lot of the miracle run last year. That was like from like June forward. And then Lindor just did Lindor craziness. But now what's magical about this is because it's a little bit of a different team, but it feels like every night we got a different hero. Like now we're going through the Vientos hot wave, right? Mr. Gorilla's here. Holy moly. Is Mr. Gorilla in the building? And Mr. Gorilla's here. I don't know. I would bring him up, but see, I don't want to mess up this format. But anyways, we'll get to Mr. Gorilla in a second before you wrap up. The point is that it feels like this season there's waves, right? You had the early Lindor wave, which we're not used to.
Oh.
Then you had the Soto wave where no one was hitting but Soto. Then throughout all that, Pete was just like soaring to the top. And then out of nowhere, Nimmo is going crazy. And now you're starting to see the others. You were right now, Marte's insanely hot. Vientos is the hottest guy probably in the National League. He might win National Player of the Week.
That's
you
possible.
know, you're even getting production out of Luis Torrens. I mean, you couldn't get production out of Luis Torrens if he was like working at the ticket booth at Citi Field with all these sellouts, you know? But now you're getting him hitting the ball in the air, which is crazy. You're even getting Tyrone Taylor, like going
he's
multiple
finally
hit
looking
games.
good.
So it does feel like they go through waves of who is hot and who isn't. And now, just now, which to your point, the pitching has a little bit of an identity. And now the Mets start to look a little bit more exactly like the Mets we envisioned, to your point, back in March, where we were all like, this team could go to the World Series. That was truly, Corey, I kid you not. I said bare minimum, the division, whatever happens, I'm good with. But this team can make a run. There's no reason why it can't.
And they can't. I completely agree. And you look at the competition, Philly's one of the best teams in the National League. We have their number. The Dodgers, we've had their number this year. And the Dodgers don't necessarily scare me as much as I thought they would on paper. The Brewers are probably the one team that does. And honestly, when it's all said and done, we beat them last year when it mattered most. But we'll see what happens there. Ironically, I still think the Padres would scare me the most if we had to verse them in the wild card, just because of the recent playoff history with them.
Well, we could right some wrongs there, you know, like we've written wrongs against Atlanta to get into the wild card. You know, we did it with Philly to this point, and I know I'm a bit biased because I was there. The Lindor Grand Slam has changed the mindset of every single Met fan dealing with this team. Correct. It doesn't matter. Even when they beat us in a series early in the year in Philadelphia, and we were going through a rut where we lost to the Rays, we lost to them, we lost to the Braves. The last thing on my mind was Philadelphia, and they were in first place or vying for first place. The thing about where I stand with Philadelphia, the only thing that worries me about Philadelphia, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, is watching Zach Wheeler pitch, and he's not there.
Correct.
And he's gone. So I'm not scared of these guys at all. I really ain't. And I think ever since that news became public, I think the Mets, I truly, and you can say this as a Met fan because you know the Mets just as good as I do, and everybody in the chat, this team is shameless as hell. They read Twitter, they read Instagram, they read everything. The minute they saw the whole world say, "Oh man, Zach Wheeler's out for the year," they probably sat there and said, "You know what, guys? There's a lot of baseball left. Why not? Why not us?" That guy was the only guy that really worried me, and he's not there anymore. So why Christopher Sanchez? Give me a break.
Correct. And we've seen bigger leads in this division with these two teams get blown later in the season than it is now.
Absolutely.
So, and 07's had like a lot of comparisons this year to the 07 team. I've seen a lot of comparisons to 07, obviously from a collapse standpoint, and comparisons to 2021 because that team just completely fell off the cliff from July onwards. But that would be something if we could right the ship completely and just completely reverse the 07 trauma and start a new run here. Why not? And I got to say, one last point, too, bringing up, and you mentioned his name before, Starling Marte. You want to talk about an unsung hero because you never really hear his name outside of like diehard Met fans calling it out. You don't really hear Marte's name a lot in the highlights, especially at a national level. But that guy, one, he's such a big clubhouse presence. I mean, he's a big guy in that clubhouse. They absolutely love him. And the turning point, I mean, that's a guy who went from everyone debating, would he even make the roster? Would the Mets look to dump him off for nothing in the offseason, last offseason? And here he is now hitting 280, 290, the best baseball he's played in a couple of years, looking great.
Vientos home run.
Oh, baby. And this guy is red hot. Unbelievable. There it is.
Attaboy, young man. Way to
Oh
answer.
my God.
Attaboy, young man.
And I'll tell you what, I was talking about this with Joe and a couple of the other guys in another chat earlier, and it's all about when you get hot. And if this team gets hot and plays their best baseball of the season in September, it doesn't matter what happened in July and August. Get hot and go into the playoffs at the right time. That's what we did last year, and we rode that through into the NLCS. And that's not what we did in 2022 when we had our best season, God knows how long, but we fell apart in September and lost in the first round of the wild card.
Yep. I appreciate you, Corey, for joining the kitchen, my brother. Thank you again. And yeah, man, we'll be back next Thursday. If you want to pop back in. I mean, next Wednesday, excuse me. We want to pop back in. You're always welcome to, my brother. Appreciate you as always.
Appreciate it. Thank you for letting me be the sous chef for tonight.
You got it, my guy.
Adios.
You. Adios, papa. All right, y'all. Mr. Gorilla's here. You know, we're at that portion of the show. You know, we're actually at the hour mark. So, you know, look, he's doing his job now. I couldn't do this. I didn't know what I was doing earlier. I didn't know how to do this cool stuff. I used to, but now all this new fancy stuff. See, I joined ESB and they got like the corporate plan where everything looks fancy. I don't know what happens now. You know, like I was too poor for the corporate plan. I couldn't understand the layouts and everything. So the ESB people, they took real good care of me. You know, they got me all these layouts. They got me all these nice little features. They got the little chat popping up. That wasn't there back when Shea and Sons was going. We were.
We'll schedule a training soon, Keith. We'll schedule a training soon.
There we go. Mr. Gorilla, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. But with that being said, he did show up literally when we're about to leave. But ladies and gentlemen, that wasn't as uncomfortable as I wanted it to be. Honestly, that was more of a comfortable. It was comfortable conversations. We went over some of the stuff I wanted to go over, but it wasn't really like bad, which is good. Probably the best portion about having an uncomfortable conversation is being comfortable about it. Usually everybody's giving me a take that's kind of all over the place. Everybody wants to be Mr. Right. Everybody, you know, they want to be a team with David Stearns. They want to be a team with, you know, Steve Cohen. Everybody's the best Met fan in the world. Listen, who cares? Who cares? Just win. I just want one win. I just want one ring so that I could. That's it. We're good. I don't have to ever have a debate. My goal in life is the Mets to win a World Series, and I will never have a baseball debate ever in my life again. That's the goal in life here. That's an uncomfortable conversation. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget ESB schedule, Mr. Gorilla. Load that up. Let us know what we're doing for the rest of the week. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. You get to tell everybody how much you hate Aaron Boone at 1 p.m. All right, on X. That's literally the I Hate Aaron Boone show. I love Giancarlo Stanton show. Literally 1 p.m. on X. All right. Also Monday, you got the Hall of Fame Empire State of Baseball crew. The OGs are there. 8 o'clock on this platform. Tuesday, 8 o'clock, you get Sierra and What Color Are Her Nails. On Wednesdays, you get me and my scruffy face. Okay. And then on Thursdays, you get a Bronx take. Oh no, that's the I Hate Boone show. Anyways, Fridays, you get extra innings. Actually, no, wait. Sorry. Thursdays, you get MySpace. Jesus Christ. At 5 p.m. Queens Boulevard. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm killing myself here. Queens Boulevard will be tomorrow, 5 p.m. Guys, don't forget. And then Friday, extra innings where Yankee fans and Met fans come together and let everybody know who's the better team, which is us, by the way. With that being said, boys and girls, that's another one in the books. I want to also, again, thank ESB for pulling up. Thank you, Jordan, a.k.a. Jeff Hardy. He pulled up. I hope the young man is safe because he looked like he was rocking a little too hard as usual. Shout out to the speakers that Alec Bohm is terrified because that is the new Grimace apparently. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next Thursday. I do have a gift for Mr. Gorilla. It's not done. I kind of half-assed it, but we're gonna leave with this. Because he asked me to do something. It's a prototype, but, you know, since he's here, he gets to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, next Wednesday, same time, we are out.